Mr. President, today, April 12th, is Equal Pay Day. Equal Pay Day means women have to work more than 4 months longer to catch up to what, on average, men made in 2015. This significant pay disparity has been going on for decades, generations even though it is against the law and has been against the law since the passage of the Equal Pay Act in 1963. The gender pay gap persists across all states and nearly all occupations. As we seek to build a 21st century workforce, more than 73 million working women are at a disadvantage because of pay inequity and other barriers based on gender. While we have come a ways from the days of overt pay discriminations, such as in the 1930s when the federal government, no less, required women to be paid 25% less than their male counterparts. The pay gap persists. It's bad enough that women with equal education and experience get paid less. It gets worse. A recent New York University study found that when women begin to enter predominantly male occupations, pay in those fields decreased overall. For example, when women began to pursue careers in design, wages dropped more than 30%. When they entered careers in biology, wages dropped 18%. The study also showed the converse. When men entered fields previously dominated by women, such as computer programming, wages increased. The bottom line is that these studies show that women's work is less valued than men's. This discrimination won't change because we don't like it or that we hope it will. It will only begin to change if we take action. That's why I joined Senator Mikulski in continuing our call to pass the Paycheck Fairness Act. This legislation would allow women to compare their salaries without fearing retaliation. How can a woman find out if there is pay discrimination going on in her workplace if she can't even find out what others are being paid? The bill would also require employers to prove that difference in pay for men and women doing the same work are not related to gender. While the gender pay gap affects all women, I want to focus this morning on inequity in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. Nationally, we need to promote STEM to remain competitive in the global economy. STEM careers are among the highest paying positions and are some of the most sought after by employers. And to keep our country's historical leadership in STEM over the next decade, economists say we need to create 1 million more STEM careers than we currently are creating. We will lose our competitive edge unless the number of women earning STEM degrees keeps pace with their growing share of the population. But of course, a reminder again, women in the STEM fields earn less than men. For example, on average, women engineers earn just 82% of what their male counterparts earn. Female doctors' starting salaries are almost $20,000 less than their male counterparts, even after accounting for factors like specialty and location. In addition to facing lower wages, women in STEM often must overcome institutional barriers, cultural stereotypes, and sexual harassment. These barriers permeate every level of the STEM career pipeline. They start as early as in middle school and continue throughout one's career and lead to women and minorities disproportionately giving up interest in STEM careers. At the University of Hawaii in Manoa, men earned more than 5 times the number of computer science bachelor's degrees as women. And in the College of Engineering, men earned 3 times as many bachelor's degrees. These kinds of numbers in STEM education are not unique to Hawaii. And even when women overcome the odds and pursue careers in STEM fields, they continue to face gender biases that can affect the hiring, promotion, and career advancement for women in STEM. For instance, research has found that women in STEM encounter biased judgments of their competence and hireability. They also receive less faculty encouragement and financial rewards than identical male counterparts when negotiating salary packages. Studies show that when women in STEM decide to become mothers, they're perceived as less competent and less committed to hard work and offered fewer jobs and lower salaries. In comparison, men are not penalized for being fathers. And if that wasn't enough, women in STEM often experience workplace harassment. Recently, in the New York Times, University of Hawaii geobiology professor Hope Jaron shared an email that was sent to a former student from a male colleague who works in the same lab as the student. And this email read in part, quote, "All I know is that from the first day I talked to you, there hadn't been a single day or hour when you weren't on my mind. That's just the way things are, and you're gonna have to deal with me unless one of us leaves," end quote. In the age of social media, these kinds of totally inappropriate emails are all too common. According to Professor Jaron, this former student feels like she can't rely on human resources because she's heard stories from female colleagues about how sexual harassment happens, quote, all the time in their organization, but that no action is taken. These stories are all too common. Again, merely condemning this kind of environment is not enough. Merely hoping that change will occur is not enough. We can and must do more to even the playing field for women in STEM. And that's why today I'm introducing the STEM Opportunities Act to combat the systemic issues that can lead to women losing interest in STEM and leaving STEM careers, basically in droves. The STEM Opportunities Act helps federal science agencies and institutions of higher education identify and share best practices to overcome barriers that can affect the inclusion of women and other underrepresented groups in STEM. The STEM Opportunities Act also allows universities and nonprofits to receive competitive grants and recognition for mentoring women and minorities in STEM fields. Mentoring programs such as Maui Economic Development Board's Women in Technology program and the Native Hawaiian Science and Engineering Mentoring program at the University of Hawaii have both seen tremendous success. The Women in Technology program supports those like Deanna Garcia, who was first introduced to STEM through Women in Technology and now is a mentor to girls who want to follow in her footsteps. And this is what Deanna said. Quote, "Women in technology gave me the skills, confidence, and support I needed. Because of their networking and strong ties within the community, I was not only able to find an internship, but a career in IT. Because of the Women in Technology program, I can also pay it forward to current students and show them during career days or tours. I'm a product of the program and hope to inspire them to pursue a path in STEM just like I did," end quote. Deanna's story is just one of many successes that programs like Women in Technology have, and I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record testimonials on the success of existing STEM programs.
Without objection.
I want to thank Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson of Texas, whose legislation laid the groundwork for the STEM Opportunities Act, and my colleagues, Senators Peters, Murray, Gillibrand, Blumenthal, Markey, Cantwell, Booker, Schatz, and Merkley for supporting this effort. Working together, I know that we can do better. I know that we can ensure that women who want to pursue STEM careers can do so in a supportive environment without fearing harassment. On Equal Pay Day, we are reminded of how far we have to go to achieve equality, and I urge my colleagues to support the Paycheck Fairness Act, the STEM Opportunities Act, and other legislation that would help close the gender gap in our workforce. I yield the floor.